morning, everyone. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a full yoga practice. It's going to be about 45 minutes or so. For this practice, we're going to just have our props available for us in case we do need them. So we have a strap and one or two blocks. Now, I've said this in previous videos, if you have a belt, you can use that instead. And if you have some thick books, you can use that as your blocks. All right, so let's get started. We're gonna start lying on our back in Shavasana. So, finding your comfortable Shavasana. For traditional Shavasana, our legs are to the edges of the mat, our feet rolled open, our palms facing up, shoulder blades on the back side of our body, and we're gently relaxing into the mat. Now, if this doesn't feel comfortable for you, you're welcome to prop your feet up and allow your knees to drop in towards each other. Or you can lay on your side or your belly. So just finding whatever position is the most comfortable for you in this moment. And just begin to settle into the mat, feeling your body supported by the earth beneath you. And we're going to start by taking some cleansing breaths. So a big inhale through the nose. Exhale, sighing it out. Another big inhale through the nose. Exhale, release your breath. One more big inhale through the nose. Exhale, letting everything go. And just begin to release any stress and any anxiety, softening into the mat. Start by bringing awareness to your thoughts, noticing if you have any racing thoughts or anxieties or maybe some worries. And just allowing them to soften. So taking a step back from these thoughts and observing them from a distance. Creating some spaces in between each thought. And then taking a moment to observe your emotions. Notice how you are feeling today. Notice if your emotions are attached to any of your thoughts. And from a distance, just notice them. Giving yourself some love and compassion for your journey. Acceptance to where you're at in this moment. And then bring some awareness to your physical body. And noticing if you're holding on to any tension and stress. Maybe you're tightening up your shoulders or clenching your jaw. Maybe you're squeezing into your feet or your palms of your hands. And just allow some space to relax those muscles. Softening into the mat. Softening into this practice today. And then noticing your breath. Noticing the length of your inhales and exhales. Noticing if you are holding your breath in any way. Become aware of the temperature of your breath and the texture of your breath. Beginning to slowly lengthen each breath slightly. And if it serves you, moving into Samavriti, which which is equal parts inhale to equal parts exhale. This is a great pranayama to carry through practice if you'd like to bring that focus inward. So this one is lengthening your inhales and matching your exhales to your inhales. So finding the length that works best for you. So maybe it's the count of 3 or 4. And maybe it's less, so maybe it's the count of 2. And remembering that if at any time any pranayama does not feel good in your body, you are welcome to release it and come back to your natural breath. Taking a moment here and bringing some awareness to an intention to set for class today. So maybe asking yourself, why am I here? Maybe it's to relieve some stress. Maybe it's to find some calm and peace. Maybe you'd like to dedicate your practice to somebody who is suffering. Whatever it is today, making that your focal point for your practice. You can seal this into your practice by saying the word or the phrase or holding on to an image in your mind. So we're going to begin to bring some awareness back into our body by wiggling our fingers and our toes. You can turn your wrists and ankles into circles. Tilting your head from side to side. Shrugging your shoulders up to your ears on the inhale, and then exhale, releasing them back down. Inhaling the shoulders up to the ears, and exhale, releasing them back down. We're going to take a full body stretch by reaching our arms above our head, pulling through the side of our body, stretching into the ribcage, big long stretch, pointing the toes to the edge of the mat, pulling the fingertips to the upper part of your mat. Nice big inhale here. And then exhale, we're going to pull our knees into our chest, give ourselves a hug, and you're going to rock it out from side to side. And then when you're ready, we're going to find stillness. We're going to place our feet on the mat. We're going to pull in the left knee into our chest. We're going to clasp behind our thigh, and we're sending up this leg to the sky. Now, if you have a slight bend in your knee, that's okay. We're going to try to straighten it as much as we possibly can. So with every inhale, you lengthen. Every exhale, you're going to move this leg a little closer to the body. Backing off a bit on the inhale. And then exhale, moving a little deeper. One more breath here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, a little deeper. Coming to center here, we're going to stretch out our ankles. So we're pointing our toes, stretching out the front of our foot. And then we're flexing it down to our face, stretching out the backs of our calves. Pointing up to the sky. And then down to our face. Pointing up to the sky, down to our face. And we'll do some wrist or ankle circles in one direction. And then we'll move into the opposite direction. And then when you're ready, finding stillness. We're going to bend into this knee. We're reaching this arm on the inside of our leg for the outside of our foot, and we're allowing this knee to drop open to the left side. So if you're feeling like there's a pinching in your hip, you're going to slightly move that knee a little bit farther out to find a good angle, and that should move that hip out of the way so that you're able to come a little deeper. So inhaling, finding some space, exhaling, softening into this space. We're just warming up here, so there's no need to pull or your body, recognizing what is the difference between stretching and pushing to the edge and what is pain. If you feel pain, then back off. One more breath here into half happy baby. And then coming into center, we're going to hug those knees into our chest. We're going to pull our nose all the way up to our knees. Big hug here. And then releasing back down. Placing our feet on the mat, pulling in the right knee into our chest, clasping behind our thighs, sending up that leg to the sky. Finding it as straight as possible with a slight micro bend in the knee. Inhaling, lengthening, exhaling, moving this leg a little closer to our chest. Inhaling, backing off. Exhale, move a little bit closer. Inhaling and exhaling. Coming into center here, we're going to work with the foot and the ankle. We're going to point the toe up to the sky and then dropping it down to the face. Pointing up to the sky, dropping down to our face. One more time, pointing up to the sky and dropping down to our face. We're going to move into ankle circles in one direction. And then we're going to switch directions, opposite way. And then when you're ready, coming to stillness. Bending into that knee, we're going to reach this right arm on the inside of a knee for the outside of our foot. If you can't reach your foot, you're welcome to grab onto your shin here. We're going to drop this knee over into the right shoulder. So finding the position that works best for your hip. And we're softening into this posture, moving with our breath. So inhaling, allowing some space, and exhaling, moving into that space. 2 more breaths here. 1 more breath in happy baby. And then coming back to center, releasing your knees into your chest. Curling up, knees to nose as close as you can get. Nice big hug here. And then releasing all the way down. We're going to roll onto our side in the fetal position and just give ourselves a couple of breaths here. There's no rush. You can take your time. Moving with intention and mindfulness. And then when you're ready, pushing all the way up and coming into seated on your mat. Alright, so finding a comfortable seated position. So if you are feeling like your knees are floating really high, you're going to put blocks under your knees. If you'd like, you're always welcome to extend your legs out if that's more comfortable. If you have any issues with your hips or your knees, or you can move to the side, whatever works best for you. What I like to do is I like to sit in Sukhasana, so that's one leg in front of the other. So we're going to start by sitting up nice and tall through the crown of the head. And we're just going to close our eyes for a moment. Just visualize this grounding sensation through the base of the spine. So just like we did in our meditation earlier this week, we're going to take 3 breaths, visualizing pulling up this energy from the earth into our spine, and then exhaling, rooting back into the earth. So we're going to start by inhaling, pulling this breath up from the base of our spine, through the side body, all the way up to the back of the throat, the back of the head, to the crown of the head. And then exhale, you're sending that breath all the way back down your spine, passing through each chakra as we root into the base of our spine, into our sit bones, back into the earth. Inhaling, pulling that breath up through the spine, all the way to the crown of the head. Exhaling, allowing that to root all the way back down to the base of the spine, into the sit bones, and back into the earth. One more rooting breath like this. Inhaling, filling the belly up, filling the chest up as you pull that breath up the spine, through the crown of the head, expanding outward and upward, into the base of your spine, to your sit bones, and back into the earth. And if your eyes were closed, you can open your eyes. We're going to inhale. We're going to roll the shoulders up to our ears, exhaling them back down our body. Inhaling up, exhaling back and around. Inhaling up, exhaling back and around. One more. Inhaling up, exhale back and around. And then we're going to switch directions. So inhaling up the back side, exhaling forward and around. Inhaling up, exhaling forward and around. Doing this 2 more times. Finding some gentle movement into the shoulders. And then when you're complete, coming into stillness. So sitting up nice and tall, we're going to bring this left ear to our left shoulder, stretching out the right side of our neck. We're going to drop our gaze over to the shoulder, so just to the floor here if it feels okay, and just noticing the change in the stretch. We're going to bring the gaze back up, but leave your ear attached to that shoulder and coming all the way to center. Inhaling here, exhale over to the right. Then dropping the gaze over to that shoulder. Bringing the gaze back up, keeping that attachment from our ear to our shoulder, and then coming all the way to center. Inhaling here, exhale over to the left, and then we're dropping the chin and moving all the way around to the right side. Inhaling here, exhaling over to the left. And continuing on your own. So if there's a spot that feels extra tight, this is where we hold a lot of tension. So we can stop and we can stretch it out, send our breath to those places that feel tight. Moving in 2 more half circles here. And then when you feel complete, crackle pop, come into center here. We're going to extend out our right arm. We're going to inhale the left arm up and over. So we're rotating the heart to the sky. We're keeping the sit bones attached to the earth. So we're not going to roll up. We're going to make sure that we're nice and rooted. Inhale, we're lengthening the side body. Exhale, moving a little deeper. Stretching into the sides of the rib cage. Big stretch here. Find some space. And then coming all the way back up, planting the left fingers. We're going to inhale the right arm up and over. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, little deeper. Pushing the sit bones down, rotating the heart to the sky. And you can look under this arm only if it's okay for your neck. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, a little deeper. Coming all the way back up into center here. We're going to inhale the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to inhale the arms all the way up. We're going to interlace the fingers, flipping the palms here. Stretch through the side body. So we're going to twist over to the right, squeezing the abdominals, nice and strong here. Coming back into center, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, moving to the left side. Squeeze the abdominals. Navel to spine, nice and strong. Coming back into center and then releasing the arms. Inhale, arms come all the way up. And then hands to heart center. We're going to extend out our hands and we're going to move into some wrist exercises. So we're going to drop our hands forward and then bringing them up. Dropping them forward. Bringing them up. We're going to move into circles in one direction. And then we're going to move into the opposite direction. You never realize how much tension you carry in these places in your body until you start working with them. So even our hands and our feet and our ankles and our wrists, feels really good to stretch it out. So we're going to extend our hands out, squeeze, and then we're going to make a fist. We're going to extend them out and then squeeze. Extend them out one more time and then squeeze. And then you're going to shake We're going to roll forward onto our hands and knees. So you can roll straight forward or you can swing your legs around. And I'm going to turn to this side so you guys can see what we're doing. So we're going to go into cat-cow. So our knees are under our hips, our wrists are under our shoulders. We can keep the toes curled under or flat, whatever you prefer. We're going to start by dropping our belly, gazes up on our inhale. Broad through the heart center. Exhale, curling the back, navel to spine, chin to chest. Inhaling, moving forward. Exhale, coming into cat. So exhaling all the stale air out. Inhaling, moving forward. Exhale, coming into cat. Moving in one more time. Inhaling, coming forward. Exhale, curling the back. And then coming into a neutral spine here. Curling the left toes under, kicking back with the right foot. We're going to stay nice and strong here. So this is where you can stay. But if you'd like a challenge, you can extend out your left arm. So we're going to inhale here. We can stay here. Or exhale, we're pulling that elbow to knee as we curl the back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen, stretching. Exhale, elbow to knee. We're going to inhale, stretch. And then we're going to release our hand and our knee down. Curling the right toes under, extending back through the left leg. We're staying here, or we're going to extend out the right arm as well. And then we stay here, or we're going to inhale and exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. We're going to inhale, lengthen, stretching, far out, expanding, and then releasing all the way down. We're going to connect the toes. The knees are wide on the mat, and we're coming down into child's pose. So child's pose, you can use a block to place underneath your forehead like this, or you can stack your fists, or you can reach your arms out and allow yourself to melt into the mat. So taking whatever version works best for you, and taking 3 big deep belly breaths here. So inhaling, expanding through the belly, exhaling, melting into the mat. Inhale, expand through the belly, exhale, melting into the mat. One more breath here. Inhale, expand, and exhale, release. And then we're going to come all the way back up to hands and knees. So from here, we're going to curl the toes under and come up into downward facing dog. So when we come into down dog, we're going to bring awareness to our hands, so spread our fingers nice and wide here. And doing this if this feels okay for your shoulders or wrists. If not, you're welcome to come down to your forearms, or you can come down into extended puppy pose for your down dog. But if you're coming into down dog, we're going to bicycle our legs back and forth, spreading our fingers nice and wide. We're pushing the floor away, so we're bringing the weight on our back side. So we're going to come up onto our toes, bend through the knees, rest our belly and chest on our thigh. Our gaze is at our toes. Inhaling here, and then exhale, we're going to begin to straighten those heels down as best as we can. Let's try that again. Bending into the knees, resting your belly and your chest on your thighs. Big inhale here, push the weight onto your legs. Keeping your torso where it is, exhale, bringing those legs down as best as you can. One more time, coming up onto the toes, deep bend in the knees, inhale here, and then exhale, straightening those legs. Taking a little bit of movement, and then when you can, find some stillness for 2 breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Pulling that chest closer to the thighs. We're going to look to our hands, and we're going to walk our feet to our hands. And we're going to do a gentle forward fold. So that means we're bending into the knees here. We're going to grab onto our elbows, forearms, or wrists, or just allow our arms to drop. And we're going to allow any tension to be released off of our shoulders and neck, so you can take some movement. You can sway from side to side, just finding any way to release any of that stress. And then when you're ready, we're going to slowly roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae, and make sure that you go slowly so you don't get lightheaded. You don't want to be passing out. So taking your time, and now you're all the way up in standing. So once you're in standing, you're going to roll those shoulders back a few times, standing up nice and tall. And then we're going to come into a couple of flows. So the first flow we're going to do is a modified version. So stepping to the top of your mat, you're going to ground on all four corners of the feet, pulling up through the mid part of your foot, engaging those thighs, navel to spine here, nice and tall, dropping those shoulders. Inhale, the arms come all the way up. And then exhale, we're forward folding. So deep bend in the knees here. We're going to inhale, halfway lift, so hands on our shins or our thighs. We're parallel with the floor. Our belly is engaged here. Exhale, hands come down. We're going to step back. We're going to come down to our knees here and set up for a nice strong plank. So our navel is to spine. We're nice and strong, broad in the shoulders, gaze just in front. And then we're coming into our chaturanga. We're going to shift our weight forward, bending at the elbows, halfway down, sliding them beside your body, pausing for a moment, and then releasing all the way to the mat. Pushing the tops of your feet in the mat, engaging your glutes and your thighs, pulling your heart up, peeling it off. You're not putting a lot of weight into your arms at all. So all back muscle and core. And then bringing your hands back down, coming to hands and knees. Curl the toes under and then push back, downward facing dog. And taking a couple breaths here. Maybe you want some movement, maybe you want to find stillness. 2 more deep breaths here. And then we're going to look to our hands. We're stepping our feet forward in between our hands. We're inhaling, halfway lift, hands on our shins or our thighs. Exhale, forward fold, deep bend in the knees if you need it. And then we're inhaling the arms all the way up, big stretch. And then exhale, hands to heart center. So that is your level 1, so you're welcome to stay there, or we can move into level 2. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Exhale, forward fold, deep bend in the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, and then we step back. And if you'd like, you can come to your knees and do the first version, or we're going to do plank on our toes. So coming up on your toes, you're pushing back through the heels, broad through the heart center, stacking the shoulders over the wrists, nice and strong, pulling navel to spine. We're going to shift the weight forward, and then bending at the elbows alongside the body, halfway down, chaturanga. Flip the feet, and then push all the way up. Upward facing dog. Make sure to push your feet into the mat, squeeze the glutes and the thighs, broad heart. Curling the toes back under, and then we're pushing all the way back, downward facing dog. And taking a few breaths in downward dog. Big breaths, big exhales, pushing the chest to the thighs. Wonderful. From here, we're going to inhale, the right leg lifts to the sky. We're going to stretch it as far up to the sky as we can. And then we're going to tuck it into our chest as we curl the back and step the foot forward. If it takes a couple steps, that's okay. We're going to stack our knee over our ankle and push back through that back foot. And we're coming all the way up. So when we come into Virabhadrasana D, if you feel like you're losing your balance, you just broaden your stance a little bit. Squeezing the inner thighs together, inhaling, arms all the way up. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Pushing back through the heel. Big inhale here. Exhale into that lunge. Making sure that you can still see your toe. Inhale one more time, and then exhale, we're going to bring our hand down, and we're stepping back all the way into downward dog. Inhale, left leg lifts to the sky. Extending up as high as you can go, and then shifting your weight forward as you tuck this knee into your chest and step it between your hands. Stacking the knee over the ankle, pushing back through the heel, and inhaling all the way up. Virabhadrasana D, Warrior 4. Dropping shoulders away from ears and finding your lunge. Adjusting yourself as you need to. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, coming into the lunge. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale here, extend. And then exhale, hands come to the mat. And then we step all the way back into downward dog. Taking a breath here. And then we're going to come to our plank pose. So we're going to come forward, and we're coming onto our knees first. I'm going to give you some versions here. So when we come forward to plank, you can come to your knees or to your toes. We're going to hold this plank for a moment, and we're going to work into moving a little bit into this plank. So we'll start on our knees here, and we're going to come down to our forearms. Nice and strong, pulling the belly in, broad through the heart center, pushing the forearms into the mat and the hands. And then coming all the way back up, nice and strong. Coming down again, building this strength for our chaturangas that we did earlier in the week. Coming all the way back up. And we'll do it one more time. Coming all the way down. Nice and strong. Squeeze the abdominals in. And then all the way back up. Curling the toes under. And you can come back into downward dog. And taking a breath here. Now you're welcome to come into child's pose if you need a break. Or you can come into plank pose on your toes. And we're going to do the same thing but on our toes. So pushing back through the heels, nice and strong, stacking our joints. Inhale here. Exhale, we're coming down to our forearms and holding it for a moment, stacking that shoulder over the elbows, pushing the arms in, pushing back through the heels, nice and strong. Coming all the way back up. Holding for a moment. Coming all the way down. You got this. I know it's hard. Take a break if you need to. Come to your knees if you need to. If you need to take a break in child's pose, that's welcome too. We got one more, guys. Coming all the way down. Nice and strong here. And then all the way back up. Pausing for a moment. And then pushing up and back, downward facing dog. So lots of people don't realize downward dog is a resting pose. And you really recognize that after you've done some planks, that downward dog is very welcomed. We'll come to our hands and knees. Our toes are touching, knees are wide, and we're coming all the way down into child's pose. So finding your child's pose that you want to go into and taking your 3 deep belly breaths. So inhale, expand through the belly. Exhale, releasing into the mat. Big inhale. Exhale, letting it go. Another big inhale. And exhale, letting it go. And then when you're ready, coming all the way back up. And we're going to come all the way to our knees. So I'm going to turn to in front so we can show you. So we're going to start by going into a toe stand. So our toes are going to be curled under like this. And if this is really intense for some people, you're going to come down slowly. Now, if you find that this is too intense, you're going to walk your feet or your hands forward and just slowly put the weight back on your toes. If you're somebody like me that for some weird reason has flexibility on my toes, then you can come all the way up. It should feel like a nice stretch. So we're going to just pause for a moment here. And we're going to extend our arms out. And we're going to place them down. So we're going to come off our toes slightly, pushing our fingers are facing us. And we're pulling back, so we're stretching the front of these wrists. At the same time, we're stretching the tops of our toes. Coming into as deep as feels good for you. Coming all the way back up. We're going to put our hands forward and come and just tap our toes, so just releasing any tension. And then curling those toes back again, and we're coming back. And this time we're placing our palms facing up, so we're stretching the fronts of our wrists. And then we're sitting back slightly on those toes, so we're stretching out the fronts here at the same time as our toes. And you know, this can be really intense. And then we're going to release. We're walking our hands forward, we're lifting our toes up, and we're just tapping our toes and releasing. Then we're going to come all the way back up. Now this time our toes are not curled under. We're just sitting up nice and tall here, and we're going to come into gates pose. So if you need a block, we're going to use a block. So keeping a block handy, we're going to extend out this left leg. So our left foot is parallel with us, and we can use this block as support. And we're going to move up and over. So we're bringing this arm up and over. So inhaling, lengthening, exhaling a little deeper. Rotating the heart to the sky. Gaze can be under the arm, only if it's okay for your neck. If you'd like to, you can slide the hand down your arm if you want another version. Inhaling, lengthening, exhaling a little deeper. And then we're going to come all the way back up. We're going to grab the block. We can use the block for support. If we want to bring that floor up a little bit more to us. If not, you can use your hand on the mat. And we're going to inhale this arm up and over. So big long stretch. I want you to find lots of space in your side body. So in between your rib cage, find some room. Big stretch here. So you're welcome to stay here, or you're going to stack the shoulders. You're going to place the hand down, and you're going to bring this leg out into side plank. So you're welcome to stay here. So if you come into side plank, what's good is to look forward first, and then you can find your balance, nice and strong. And if you'd like a challenge, you can kick this leg up. Holding, squeezing those abdominals. If you want more of a challenge, you're welcome to grab your toe and kick all the way up. And then release wherever you're at. You're going to bend that front leg back down, and then you're inhaling all the way back up. Hands to heart center, and releasing this leg. And we'll just move the blocks to the other side. So extending out this right leg. So finding the position that works best for you. So if you want to use the block, you can use the block, or you can slide your hand down your leg. Inhaling this arm up and over. Lengthen through the side body. Inhaling, exhaling a little deeper. Finding that space. Pulling that abdominal in. And then coming all the way back up. Using the block if you need to bring that height of the floor up higher, and reaching your arm up and over. So big long stretch. Perfect. And then if you'd like, you can stay there, or you can begin to stack the shoulders, and then you're going to bring out this leg and you're going to stack them. So now you're in plank pose. So remembering that you can stay here, or give yourself a challenge, bringing that leg up, or as always, level 3, kicking up through the foot. Finding whatever version works best for you. And then when you're ready, bending through that knee, coming all the way back up, and release, hands to heart center. Wonderful. All right, so we're going to turn back to our side here. taking a rest here. Big belly breaths, inhale, exhale, release. Inhale and exhale. You're going to walk your hands over to the right side. This is going to stretch the left side body. Staying in child's pose, just moving over to the right. Coming all the way back in center and then coming over to the left. Big side body stretch. And then coming all the way into center, taking one more breath here. And then we'll come all the way back up to hands and knees. We're going to swing our legs around and come into seated. All right, so sitting up nice and tall, finding your comfortable position here. Okay, so we're going to bring in this right leg into the inside of our left leg. So if you feel like your knee is floating, you can put a block underneath it for support. We're going to grab our strap and we're going to place it underneath our left foot. So if you have the ability to bend forward and grab your foot, I will give you that option. But this is really good for bringing awareness to how we're moving forward, how we're hinging at the hips. So you want to pull the shoulder blades back on the back side of your body. So I'm going to turn to the side view just so you can see that this is what a lot of people end up doing. So we end up collapsing into the shoulder like this. What I want this to do, this pulling this strap, is to teach you how to pull your shoulder blades back so you're bending almost into like that tricep push-up again, and then you're hinging at the hips forward. Now, if you have a lot of space and your arms are longer, then you might be able to grab your foot. So we're going to inhale, lengthen, and we want our gaze to be forward. Exhale, pulling that chest to the thigh. So when you get that chest to the thigh, then you can drop your head down. But otherwise, we want to keep it nice and lot of length into the back side of our body. Inhaling, lengthening, exhaling, moving a little deeper, and using your breath as a guide. So everyone is going to be different. This might be a place that you hold a lot of stress into the hamstrings, so this might look more like this. And for that, for anybody, it doesn't matter where you're at. If you feel a stretch, then you're doing the work. All right, so big inhale here and exhale one more time. And then we'll come all the way back up and we'll switch sides. So I'll turn forward so you can see from this angle. So grabbing the strap underneath the foot, pulling those shoulder blades back on the back side of your body as you broaden through the heart center. And then exhale, hinging forward. And you might find that one side's a little tighter than the other. For me, I have a hip issue on this side. So this one is definitely a lot tighter. So, you know what, just be compassionate with yourself, find that awareness and that place of just being happy with where you're at and noticing that you are going to be different on each side. And that's perfectly okay. So inhaling, lengthening, exhaling a little deeper. One more breath here. And then coming all the way back up and releasing the strap. Perfect. So from here we're going to do a gentle twist. So we're going to extend our legs back up. We're going to step this right leg over top of the left. And we're twisting over to the right side. So we're going to hook either on the inside or the outside. We're going to sit up nice and tall here, navel to spine, and exhale, finding that twist. So inhale, lengthening, exhaling, moving into that twist. Inhale and exhale. And then coming all the way around, counter twist. Hand on the inside of your foot, and then the other hand props behind you, nice and broad. and then coming back into center and release. Stepping that left foot over top of your right. Pulling that navel to spine, hooking on the inside or the outside, sitting nice and tall, inhale. Exhale, moving into the twist, starting at the lower spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, moving a little deeper. You're welcome to have a bind for those that enjoy binding by reaching your hand into the space and wrapping around behind the back. And only doing this if this serves you and it feels good. Otherwise, just working on finding that space in your spine to move a little deeper into the twist. Coming all the way back into center and switching, coming around into a counter switch. So hand on the inside of your foot and the other hand behind you. Sit up nice and tall and open up that heart center. And then we'll come all the way back into center here. All right, and then we're going to move to the side. We're going to pull the knees into our chest here. And we're going to rock all the way down to our backs. Hugging our knees into our chest. We're going to pull the knees to our nose. So big, nice hug here. And then we're going to release. We're going to allow our arms on the inside of our knees to grab for the outside of our feet or our shins. And we're coming into full happy baby. So allowing our knees to drop open to the side. And for some people, they like to move from side to side. Some people like to find stillness. Just finding whatever works best for you. And just taking a couple moments here. Some people like to straighten one leg at a time, coming out into each side. Finding that makes you happy. In your happy baby. Alright, then scooping your knees up. Give yourself a hug here. Knees to nose. Squeeze. And then release. Bringing your feet down. We're going to come into just a gentle twist, final twist. So lifting our hips up. We're going to move them over to the left side. Pull the knees into the chest. Drop them over to the right. Extend your arms out into a T shape or into cactus arms. And your gaze is going to be over to your left arm. You're welcome to keep these knees stacked or you can extend out that bottom leg. Finding the twist that serves you. Bringing everything down from our practice. And then coming back into center. Placing our feet down, lifting our hips up, move them over to the right, drop them back down. Pull the knees into the chest and then drop the knees over to the left side. And then if it serves you, extending out that bottom left leg. Deep breaths. And then when you're ready, coming all the way back into center here. We're going to give ourselves one last hug. Squeezing all the tension out, all the stress, like a big ball. And then releasing. And we're going to extend out into our version of Shavasana. So your Shavasana might look different than your first Shavasana, and that's totally okay. So just finding what works best for you with all those options we had at the beginning of a class available to you at any time. And we're going to begin by taking our 3 cleansing breaths. So big inhale through the nose. Exhale, release your breath. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, letting it go. One more big inhale through the nose. Release your breath. And then just allow some space and time to adjust yourself, to get comfortable in any way that feels best for you. Softening into the mat. Softening your muscles. Softening your breath back to its natural rhythm, releasing any pranayama. And taking a moment here to come back to your intention. So whatever your intention was for the beginning of class, taking a moment to honor that intention And then when you're ready, allowing to release into the mat, letting it go. We're going to take a few moments here to soften into the body by relaxing the tips of our toes, softening into the bottoms of our feet, into our heels and our ankles. Relaxing our calves, our knees, softening into our hamstrings and our thighs. Relaxing our pelvis and our hips. Softening our lower belly into our rib cage, all the way up to our chest. Relaxing our heart center, across our shoulders, down our arms, into our elbows, our forearms, our wrists, the palms of our hands and our fingertips. Softening our throat, our jaw, our cheeks. Relaxing our eyes, gently closed. Softening any wrinkles in the forehead. Letting go completely into the mat. Knowing that you're safe, you are supported by the earth beneath you. Allowing yourself as much time as you need here in Shavasana to absorb the practice to every cell of your being. But if you are ready, you can bring some awareness back to your body by wiggling your fingers and your toes, moving your hands and ankles into circles, tilting your head from side to side. Shrugging your shoulders up to your ears on the inhale and then relaxing them back down. Taking whatever little movements feel good in your body as you pull the knees into your chest and just begin to rock from side to side. When you feel ready, rolling to the fetal position on the side of your body, cradling your head, just taking a couple moments here. And then pushing up into seated. So sitting comfortable position. We're going to start by rubbing our hands together, creating some heat. And we're going to place them on our heart center, so left hand first and then right hand. Take a moment to bow down to yourself. Thank yourself for showing up today, for making time for self-care in this chaotic, uncertain time. Take a moment to honor your own needs, to honor yourself in this moment, wherever you are. Hands to heart center. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide your practice today. The love, the light, and the beauty within me honors and sees the love, the light, and the beauty within you. And in this way, we are all one. Namaste.